Do you want to know what are the most sustainable food growing systems in the world? The kind that actually have a proven benefit on both greenhouse gas emission and local biodiversity? Well, it's not a traditionally grown orchard, that's for sure. Have you ever heard of food forests? A food forest, or edible forest garden, is a food production system. It mimics a forest edge and is planted with edible plants. A food forest is essentially a bunch of tree guilds. A tree guild is a grouping of plants that supports a central system, such as a fruit tree, for maximum harvest and use of space. It's like mini ecosystems that you can bring to life by applying a permaculture technique intended for disease-resistant, high-yielding gardens. The use of guilds came about by observing how certain plants would naturally group themselves together in unmanaged settings, like a forest. These guilds provide a roadmap for developing interconnected ecosystems, which may reduce our workload and increase yield over time. For example, underplantings in a guild might include plants that fertilize, repel pests, attract beneficial insects, create mulch and suppress grass, and much more. To clarify, tree guilds are not exact a recipe to follow. They are simply combinations of plants that people have tried growing together or have observed growing together in natural ecosystems. We encourage you to do the same, because no condition or one site are ever the same, and just because something didn't work somewhere else, it doesn't mean it won't work for you. Experiment with what you have and see what happens. A companion plant may play one or more roles that aid the environment and the plants around them. They may attract beneficial insects, such as predators of pests, deter wildlife or diseases, fertilize naturally by fixing nitrogen into the soil, mulch, produce nectar to attract pollinators, repel pests, suppress grass, and so on. For instance, lavender has 4 different roles. It is an attractor, a suppressor, a repeller, and an accumulator, all at the same time. It yields all of these functions, and it provides flowers that may be used as medicine, tea, or just for aesthetic purposes. This is but one example of what one companion plant can do when placed in a garden. There are several layers in a food forest. Some are visible, like the tall trees, small trees, shrubs, herbs, and ground covers, while others are completely invisible, like mycorrhizal layer underneath the soil and the microorganisms. This invisible layer allows the plant growing above ground to be healthy and resilient. Mycorrhizae is an association between a fungus and a plant that allows roots to communicate and exchange valuable resources with each other, just like in a group chat or the free market. Without an established network of mycorrhizae, you cannot have a healthy, thriving ecosystem. There are 2 different types of mycorrhizae, endomycorrhizae and ectomycorrhizae, and there are 2 key differences that set them apart. The first difference is that while the ectomycorrhizae is only able to colonize 5 to 10% of plant species, the endomycorrhizae can form connections with as many as 70 to 80% of plant species. The second difference lies in the way they colonize the plant that they connect with. Ectomycorrhizae never actually penetrates the root cells of the plant, while endomycorrhizal species penetrate into the cells of the root and act as an extension. This allows different plants to connect and transfer nutrients and water in times of need. That way, when a plant is in distress, in times of drought for instance, it can ask for help from another better established or tap-rooted plant, thus surviving an extreme weather event that would otherwise kill it. If you decide to plant a food forest instead of an orchard, you may make an investment into mitigating problems such as soil erosion and contributing to the reversal of local species extinctions. You will even bring back natural water springs, and you'll be ensuring a diverse food yield for generations to come with a very low input of energy, time, and money. When you plant a food forest, you will also get an abundant variety of yield, from cut flowers and culinary or medicinal herbs, fruits, nuts, firewood, and much more. So why plant only one type of fruit tree when you could triple your yield in the same amount of space, just by planting more diversely? Do you think natural habitats could be a solution for the future? Let us know in the comments below.